Fetka Gap is at the heart of Maustria, linking east and west. It is a highland highway and a bottleneck. Armies have marched here before, and they march here again. In the last days of the year of the reductive quokka, the vast armies of the Royalist cause march out of Milberkäse and into the Gap. Gammelost, Camembert, and Pigafetta have almost 100,000 mice under their command, the largest army in the history of the continent. Facing them is General Lord Flavisham and the Duke of Moselton. Between them they command some 74,000 mice. The Countess Penella commands her division of cavalry, while Mousecar leads a division of infantry. The Loyalists have built a fort and a supply depot, balancing offence and defence. It is clear to Baron Gammelost that they will try and take Milberkäse in the spring. He decides that an unexpected attack will knock Flavisham off balance. The Royalist army lays siege to the Loyalist fort at the start of the month, and all are amazed when it falls with barely a shot fired. The garrison are apparently disheartened, and the commander more than willing to become a prisoner. Flavisham falls back, destroying the supply depot before it can fall into Royalist paws. The two armies trudge through the mud and rain, until, in the second week of the month, Flavisham halts and makes a stand behind the Brie Run. The armies camp in the field, watching each other's fires and guessing at strength. It rains all Cheese Day, so no action occurs. As Cheddin's Day dawns, much of the field is obscured by low-hanging cloud, but by 10 a.m. it has cleared enough for battle to begin. The field Flavisham has chosen is narrow, only a few miles across. The northern side is dominated by the Kupferberg, a steep hill, while the south is obstructed by the Greenwald, a dense forest. The area is dominated by low hills, thick woods, and numerous villages. The armies deploy their ranks. Camembert commands in the south, the royal left. Opposite him, behind the Brie Run, are a line of militia infantry backed by regulars. In the centre, Pigafetta has command. He has the majority of the Royalist artillery. Opposite him stands militia, then regulars, then the guards of Flavisham's corps on a low hill, the Zentraltopf. Gammelost commands the royal right, in the north. Opposite him is only the cavalry division of Penella, guarding the town of Lower Muss. The rest of the Loyalist cavalry is in the south, commanded by the Duke of Moselton. The Royalists intend to attack firmly on both flanks, while engaging the centre. Once the flanks have crumbled, the centre will attack, destroying the Loyalists in detail. Flavisham's Loyalists is outnumbered, 4-3, and heavily outnumbered in terms of artillery. So why has the canny general halted here instead of retiring? Because he knows something the Royalists do not. General the Count Gudarian and General the Count Rostopki are both nearby, marching through the mud to reach this ground. If Gammelost can be baited into committing his army to battle, the reinforcements will arrive in time to guarantee a great victory. Gudarian and Rostopki have another 40,000 troops under their command. At 10:20, the first Royalist troops splash across the Brie Run as cannon on both sides open fire, but it will be the best part of an hour before the corps engages the enemy force. Both sides are scouting, inspecting, drawing up their lines. In particular, Camembert's corps have noticed Moselton's cavalry on the Eintreberg to his left, but they show no sign of coming down. The enemy line of militia fire, but apparently they are ill prepared for today's events. Perhaps their powder is damp from standing around in the early morning cloud bank. Whatever the reason, the Royalist infantry advance with bayonets fixed, give a great squeak, and the militia break and run, falling back in confusion. The Loyalist militia retreat through the lines of regulars behind in such numbers that 2 brigades panic and fall back with them. It is all Mousecar can do to restore order and hold position. Camembert does not advance into the line of regulars, however. He works to bring forward his artillery and reorganize the cavalry to watch the Loyalists on the Eintreberg. One unit is sent into the village of Rakletov to drive out the garrison of militia. By midday, all of Camembert's artillery is in position and is pounding the Loyalist lines of regulars. There is no enemy artillery on this flank, so the guns have it easy, simply firing shot after shot into the stoic defenders. This continues for an hour, as Loyalist forces hold under the long-range fire. At about 1 o'clock, Camembert advances the guns closer to the enemy line and really starts unleashing some serious fire. The Loyalists begin to take heavy casualties, and a brigade becomes disrupted and is ordered to the rear. A fresh unit is sent into the line to take their place. 20 minutes later, the same thing happens again. As a brigade breaks, another is sent forward. At 20:02 in the afternoon, a report arrives that the enemy cavalry are coming down from the Eintreberg, and Camembert readies his own cavalry to meet them. but it seems to be just a scouting party moving forward to see what is happening. The cavalry quickly return back to their heights. At just after 2, everything changes. Mousecar has grown tired of watching his brigades get shot to pieces and not being able to respond, and plans an attack. At the same time, a fresh division of infantry arrives to support him. The first units of the Avant division of Gudarian's corps, dispatched with orders to attack the village of Rakletov. Mousecar sends his infantry forward and into the Royalist guns. The crews must be tired from firing all day. Perhaps there is an issue with the ammunition or confusion about where the grape shot has been kept, because the Loyalist regulars simply march through the fire and overwhelm the gun crews, then push on into the Royalist infantry behind. There are vicious melee all up and down across the flank. Units break and are pushed back, and a particularly stubborn unit of Royal Guards counterattack and rush forward, breaking multiple enemy units before being destroyed by the Avant division. Throughout all of this, Moselton's cavalry on the Eintreberg does not move. Apparently no one has called them to act, and Moselton cannot see the action in the valley because of the intervening trees. Camembert brings forward his remaining guards and a heavy cavalry unit and orders them to counterattack. The guards go first, drawing the enemy fire, and then the heavy cav hit them in the flank. Together they bust the enemy regulars wide open and pursue onwards, onwards, onwards. The guards try to keep up, but are eventually exhausted. The heavy cavalry just keep on going, and in 20 minutes they have destroyed one of Mousecar's brigades and the entirety of the Avant division infantry. Somewhere in all of this chaos, Mousecar himself is cut down. His body will be found days later, buried under the corpses of his own soldiers. The Loyalist right flank is in complete disorder. The militia units that had been rallied from earlier in the day panic and run, and Camembert brings forward everything he has left, which is not much, ready to support a great assault on the enemy's centre, but always aware that Moselton's cavalry is still there, watching and waiting from the Eintreberg. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The day is wearing out, and this report has only covered the southern flank action.